Okay.
Okay,
Hello, Williams. Yeah, it's really happy you are here. So as we know that this is the podcast for the SDG 9. It is for innovations, and we're going to talk about the AIs. We are targeting to the students from IMU University who are studying their postgraduate, like a master degree, PhD degree, and most of our students they are business owner. So for this kind of podcast, we are trying to share the knowledge that is really helpful for our audience. That is our main goal. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay.
sure.
Oh, my first question is like, could you please introduce about yourself, your names and what you've been doing, and yeah, your education background and your experience.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so my name is William Pitt. I'm now retired, but formerly I used to be a senior software manager.
Mhm.
For the last 15 years of my career, I was not really programming or developing, although I came up through a sort of a technical route, but I was more of a manager. So various roles from development manager,
Mhm.
even managing director, product manager, client services manager. So quite a range of different things.
Mhm.
Um, the clients that we had, and it's an insurance software business. And most of the clients were in Scandinavia, although we did have some in other parts of the world. And so providing insurance systems. And for the last few years, that was up to sort of 2024, we had been putting our system onto the cloud, so cloud version.
Mhm.
So it's a single system that then services all the different clients, and that was on AWS.
Mhm.
Going further back, I'm degree educated in the UK at a place called Brunel University, and that was in maths and computer science. So it was a relevant degree. What
Mhm.
I then did afterwards, and that was a what we call a sandwich course.
Ah.
So I did with in study, but also then 3 6 month placements into industry, which the last place I went to work for in the placement, I then went to work for full time after I graduated.
Mhm.
So although I'm retired, but I still sort of keep my hand in terms of some of the technical side. So I do help out on a couple of charity websites.
Mhm.
Beyond that, my free time as such, which I've now got a lot more of, like cycling, volunteering, just simple gardening, trying to learn to play the piano, and
Mhm.
travel as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's you just explain it in very specific, and yeah, it's I see it's like you're now enjoying your how to say your quality time, gardening
Exactly.
and playing the piano because you've been contributing a lot. Yeah, I could see
Yes.
that one.
Yeah. Good life balance now.
And as far as I hear that you've been in the industry of the software industry, so you are really good in the technology and the business as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. Yeah, yeah.
sure, sure. So my second question that would be, when do you use the AI? I just want to know the frequency that you use
Mm.
the AI. Mhm.
Yeah, sure. Well, in a sense, I use AI every day. I mean, implicitly within the sort of Google searches, you always get that summary. So
Mhm.
you're implicitly using AI then. But really, from a sort of active perspective,
Mhm.
I guess I use it sort of every so often, so perhaps every month or so, and
Mhm.
typically using it to get information on topics as a sort of a start point. And that could be anything from how to set up a charity, pension management strategies,
Mhm.
info on cycling infrastructure, and also have used it for example, working out how to get an itinerary done. So we want to go from A to B on your bike. What's an itinerary? Where do you stop? Places you can stay, and those sort of things as well.
Mhm.
Um, in my work, so as AI was just sort of really started to sort of be used much more a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
I did use it to get head starts on presentations, so that was getting in the insurance field, but also information on sort of client services. Always a start point, but never the finish point. And I did use it to create a few presentations within PowerPoint as well directly, although at the time they weren't so good. But
Mhm.
well, that's very different now.
Yeah, I could see that you've been using for your career, for your daily research, something like that. So I
Mm.
just want to know the specific way of using the three reason. Let me note about why you use the AI.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the three. So for starters, quick summary. So
Mm-hmm,
saves trawling through lots of different websites,
mm-hmm,
having to get the information yourself and summarizing it, putting it all together, getting a quick summary.
mm-hmm,
And you don't, and using that, you don't get the fluff if you're going through different websites. Because you always get websites, you got the adverts, etc. And you've got to work out the sort of bit that you want, so that it removes that sort of distractions you get. So it's very focused,
mm-hmm,
and also information that comes back
mm-hmm,
based on your prompt, your query. If it's not quite right in the ballpark,
mm-hmm.
just adjust the query and try again very fast. So you might, rather than spending loads of time going through different websites and not getting quite the right information, you can quickly turn around a different version of it or a different way of looking at the information you do want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I could see that you use it very effectively, based on your careers and yeah, the
Mm.
things that you need to make a research for your business. I just want to know because I see that throughout your journey, your career journey, may I ask you one more question, which is related to
Sure,
your
go, go,
experience?
go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, because because you are the really capable person who know about the AI. I mean, not today AI, because
Mm.
you have a background of the programming in
Mm.
your past career. So I just want to know how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel the difference between last decade ago AIs and the today AIs?
Oh, well, I mean, a decade ago, AI was just mentioned as a thing. There was nothing really out there unless you're actually working directly in the research field to
Uh-huh.
use. So I guess what 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
when ChatGPT sort of came in, which was really the sort of star of the show at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when let's sort of experiment, let's see what it could do, and that's when really started to use it. And it was just obviously quite amazing how so
Mm-hmm.
expedient it was in order to get information. You've got
Mm-hmm.
to validate the information. We've heard about hallucinations. We've heard about it sort of creating effectively non-factual information. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got to take it we say with a pinch of salt, if you know the expression,
Mm-hmm.
and validate what you have. And that's where sometimes, if it is the information you do need to validate, that takes extra
Yeah.
time, of course. But it's a world of difference, really, compared to how it was previously. My former colleagues, I know they use Claude at work,
Mm-hmm.
and they use it to develop some of the programs as well, some of the coding. Um, a few years ago, it was very unreliable from that perspective, and it can actually churn out a lot of code, possibly insecure code, and security obviously is still a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that will remain so for quite a while. But it improves day to day. So whilst a month ago it wasn't very good at something, now
Mm-hmm.
it can be very good at something. So it's just incrementally always improving,
Yeah.
which is a concern in some ways and good in other ways.
Sure, sure. So my next question would be, these days there's as you mentioned, there's so many competitive and every day is changing. Every day they're updating for their new ways of doing the business. And as we know that there's a ChatGPT now is like Cloud and Gemini. So for you, for your personally, which one is the best to?
Yeah, yeah. Tricky question. So recently I haven't used so many, and they're not more. I mean, for example, I haven't used Grok, so I've really only used Gemini and Chat GPT.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Indirectly, I can't remember the engine, but I've seen quite a few sort of AI videos as well.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I think I think at the moment I say probably between Chat
Mm.
GPT and Gemini, but I haven't got a full range, so that's a little bit more difficult for me to sort of give it
Mhm.
a really sort of explicit answer at the moment.
Oh,
And things change as well.
Yeah.
The other thing you haven't mentioned is quantum computing, and I think quantum computing is
Mm-hmm.
another thing to sort of keep our eye on as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So okay, let's make it more practical. I mean, in the action, in the ways of the actions. So it's all these days people are talking about the prompt engineerings. So if you know one good prompt, so you could
Yeah.
create even very good animated video, or you could create one very professional website, something like that. So people
Yep.
talk
Yep.
a lot about that prompt engineering. So as a expert of the software engineering and you know about the technology, so how do you feel about
Yep.
that good prompts and bad prompts?
Yeah. So I know that there are people out there that there are YouTube videos for this in order to create prompts for creating prompts. So like meta prompts. So that is something worth doing because you can save a lot of time.
Yeah.
So sort of by looking through that, so you've got a way of generating your own prompts, which because the more precise you can go with your prompts, the
Mhm.
better the output that you're going to get. So rather than using just a couple of words, try and be very explicit, very detailed in what
Mhm.
you want. So I think that's definitely something worth pursuing. But it is a new skill that people I think will need to learn. How to write good prompts.
Good prompts,
Um, I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near perfect at that at all yet. So
yeah.
we're all still learning. It's still a new field, so I
Sure.
think we're all still learning that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So okay, let's deep a little bit more deeper about this kind of prompt. So
Yeah.
let me give you, okay, maybe you can give me like one of the instant that you've been doing for the recently. Okay. So for example, like if you assign to present for your career or for your project, something like that. So
Yes.
how would you start using the AI from research
Okay. Yep.
to journey to the presentation? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So certainly research the info. So
Mhm.
write the prompts, get the information.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't tend to need to, but I know that some people they provide data to
Mhm.
the engine. So, for example, if you had an Excel spreadsheet of statistical information,
Mhm.
even a Word document, whatever, you can feed that in. I don't tend to use that as a start point, but it's a possibility. So other people might
Mhm.
find that useful. Um, I I'm a little wary of that in terms of security of the information I'm providing. But so you might want to check your engine that you're using how secure or not that information you're providing is. Hopefully it is. It
Mhm.
should be, but you never know.
Mhm.
Anyway, so research the information, and as I was mentioning earlier, the next step is really sanity check that
Mhm.
information. If
Ah.
it's something you can sort of sanity check, if you're for example, asking about something which is perhaps not so serious, perhaps you don't need too much validation. But if you want to present that information to other people and it's
Mhm.
new information, you haven't seen it, and it has statistical information itself, really you need to validate it, make sure it's not sort of been, made up or
Mhm.
fictional information that's been drawn from a book rather than real world information.
Mhm.
Um, then the sort of final step is creating the sort of presentation. As
Mhm.
mentioned earlier, you can use it to provide the information and then get the presentation. But you want to modify that. So think of the audience you want to present to, think
Mhm.
how long you want to present to, and then provide that. So your PowerPoint or whatever is going to be appropriate for the audience that you're going to talk to. If you just wanted to create a presentation, it could be any length. It could have not quite the right information. So
Mhm.
again, the more precise you can be, the more information you give it, the better your results. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's depend on the length of the presentation and the audience, I would say.
Yes.
Sure, sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're talking to technical audience, it can skew more to the technical side. If you're presenting to your business managers, it can lessen the technical side, give you more of the sort of business angle of that information you've put together. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So now we just talk about the really useful and helpful about the AI. So okay, now we just think about the on the contrary, right? So while you use the AIs, and yeah, on the other hand, have you ever faced like some challenging experience? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I guess not so much so far. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the information provided, I've always used, say, as a start point, and if it, I think it's always been sort of sufficient then to sort of start me rolling with what
Okay.
I want to do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've ever had a big issue so far with it, so it has always been sort of useful. Yes, I can't think of a useful example on that one, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. For example, like, do you want some information in a very specific format, and maybe AI gave you very hallucinations, and it gave you very generic answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I was playing with it just to experiment, yes, that is the case.
Okay.
But when it came to an actual thing I wanted to achieve, I didn't find there was much hallucination. There was the odd thing that sort of didn't make sense, or it might have been a little bit repetitive. But since it's the summaries that I had were summaries and short, it was quite easy to sort of spot those sort of things. I mean, in terms of issues with AI, I do have other issues. And you mentioned hallucinations, but you need to double check. But I also concerned in terms of energy usage AI makes. So it's a potential effect on global warming, but also, does it make us dumber, or does it just is it a tool to facilitate us making sort of better decisions? So I don't know what I don't know, because it's a new facility or utility. I don't think we necessarily understand all the side effects of continuously using. We can see that, for example, take social media, that we know there are obviously quite a few problems with social media, particularly on sort of children. I don't know, for children will this help them completely, or help them in a different way, or is there side effects we just don't understand yet that won't be known until later on, when it's a lot harder to sort of correct. So yeah, because you get into habits, when you're younger, and if those habits persist, and they're not say good habits, they're much harder to change. So we don't know. As with anything, there's a good sides and bad sides, and let's hope we can make use of the best sides and good sides.
Because that is depend on how you use, right? So if you use on the weight of the good thing, so you will have a good outcome, of course. Yeah. That's the one thing. I just want one more. I'm really curious that, because you are really good in the technology way, I just want to know more detail about the stuff that is just happening around the AI topic, which is called AI agents. But most of the people use the LLM. That's large language models, and they just chatting. Now it's beyond that, and agents and agentics, and there's some of the AI. It's like they run like a ecosystem that could even make a decisions making level. So sometimes we think like those are the brain level, those are the hand level, those are the one who can even make a decision for others, chatbot or some other automation process. These days I'm just hearing about some of the news. It's like even one of the AI agents can run like the whole department for the marketing department or department, because that one agent can run all the research, and also they can create the content, and they can put it in the schedule for the whole month, and even they could make some of the, how to say, paid media advertising boosting, and that could even generate the report as a human being. And it seems like one AI agent can run the whole department's functions, and it's working very well these days. So how do you feel this kind of automations and AI agent in these days?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I'm definitely technical, but I'm not an expert in AI. Just make well, I could give you even better answers, but in fact, agents we used to call things called ants, and that was sort of 25 years ago. We talked about the facility to do that, but again, that was because it's coming through research. It's only now sort of started. it's interesting. Are humans becoming basically the working hands and fingers and bodies for the sort of system? So where the system can't do something, we go and do it for the system in effect. So as long as you're happy, we're being paid a wage, I guess, or if you're volunteering, I mean, it could be the volunteering sector as well, and you're just responding to a computer to go and do something, but you understand what the business is trying to achieve, what your purpose is. You know, that for many, I'm sure that'll be okay. Some it's not going to be okay that you're being driven by a computer. But I think in terms of where it comes to decisions, and it's interesting in terms of GDPR, where decisions can't be completely automated, that you do need a human being. And when it comes down to perhaps life situations, monetary situations, that we need to be we're careful that the good decisions are being made. But AI can take out the emotion of some of this, but sometimes we are human beings, and sometimes emotion is important. So it's an interesting and tricky area. I am concerned in terms of, again, security with agents, because how much information they have access to, how information can be extracted from agents to other agents. And if you're from most of society, this isn't a problem, but where the criminal element is involved, then they will obviously be trying to extract out as much information as possible. So where a AI agent think, oh, it's found a great holiday website to book your holiday, or oh, this is the fantastic new place to put your shares to make some money, and it's actually a criminal enterprise, and now it's just booked for the criminal enterprise and giving your money away to a criminal enterprise. Not so good. So there are issues still, because it's so fast moving, and governments are so behind. It is a concern that the government, and also obviously internationally, that the protections aren't necessarily in place quickly enough, and they're always on catch up, and that is definitely a concern. Sure. I mean, what I would like to see in terms of AI and agents is most like, so if when you get a phone call, the phone call is coming from a real person, not a generated voice, or even a video is actually the person you think you're talking to. Some way of having a sort of like almost a watermark to say, right, this is an AI thing, not a real human thing. Obviously, the criminal element want to just add that in themselves, but if we have some way of having some sort of watermark, I think that'd be good. But that's just my sort of thought on allowing humans to know whether what you're doing is AI related or whether actually it's human related. But it's a young field, and it's on catch up. But security is and to some extent accountability. If the AI agent did something wrong, who is accountable for that?
That's a good point, right? Okay. Thank you for sharing this information. So my next question would be, based on that, what do you expect the better AI in the futures?
Well, I think always sort of keeping up to date, so that you know where the better AI is. I think it just keeps improving. It'll just mesh closer and closer with sort of society, because I assume as it in a sense learns, and whether that's a large language model or different, because large language models I don't consider necessarily intelligent. They're more of to me, and this is my simple sort of thinking, they're more of a syntactical processor. And but if they can understand humanity a little bit more, they'll be able to better mesh with humanity. Hoping it's not for manipulation's sake. It's working together, not against us. Because it's very interesting. Because some people are easier to manipulate than others. So it's very interesting to see how it goes. But I think it's always keep an eye on what really is changing. So
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. So you know what's sort of coming through. You know where security problems could be. Yeah. So you're just up to date as much as possible. You'll never know everything. There's just too much to know. But just try and keep your hand in to sort of understand and practice and use it, so that you're not become, in a sense, an obsolete human because you don't know how to interact with.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So for
Otherwise you're off grid. You have to go off grid.
yeah, sometimes we also considering go off grid. Yeah. And okay, my last question, last but not least, do you have any suggestion for the AI user?
AI user.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I guess I was covering the last question or last answer. Yeah, I mean, just keep up to date with it. Keep practicing. Practice your prompts, as we were saying, and see if you can look up meta prompts, so your prompts can be better, and you can learn from that. Learning by example, I think, is very good. And I mean, there's lots of different facilities. I use YouTube a lot to sort of keep up with stuff, so that's with my sort of recommendation. But there's lots of others. But don't let it sort of truck along, move along without you keeping your sort of eye on it. Otherwise, it's unfortunate, but you get left behind. As a sort of analogy in our sort of voluntary and charity things, people who are not just web enabled, don't understand email, they really get left behind. So you need to sort of keep up with it. It's not a great thing, but I think you just have to keep up with technology these days. Otherwise, you can get left behind.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your opinions. Yeah, it's been really fruitful. So I believe those will be really helpful to the students and the one who is trying to figure out what is AI and AI is good or bad, something like that. But it's really matters. Your answers and your suggestions just really matter for those who is like a business owner and the students. Yeah, on behalf of them, thank you again for sharing this kind of informations.
No, thank you very much for asking me. It's been a privilege, and it's inspired me to think of a few things as well. So I need to do a bit more research myself and keeping up to date.
Okay, thank you so much. So have a nice day. Enjoy your gardening and your piano, playing the pianos.
Yes, I'll try.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Cheers now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.